Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Talk Bloody to Me. I'm Matt,
And Breezy.
and we're here this week. We have an extra bloody episode of Talk Bloody to Me because, in honor of Valentine's Day, which was last week, we're going to review the original 1981 movie Talk Bloody, or not Gee Whiz, My Bloody Valentine. It was the movie called Talk Bloody.
Yeah, it
You're
kind of
way ahead of
it
us.
kind of works together.
Yeah, exactly. The movie My Bloody Valentine. Um, and Breezy was moving. You've been busy, so we missed Valentine's Day, but we're covering it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why my lighting's a little off because I'm still at the old home doing this. So hopefully we get back on track with good lighting on my end.
Yeah. But you look fantastic anyway.
I try.
Well, so we were going to talk about there's a what is it, 2009, a My Bloody Valentine 3D, and we were going
Yep.
to kind of compare the older one and the newer one, but we decided to start off with we were just going to talk about the older one because we might have enough to talk about just with that alone for a whole episode. And so My Bloody Valentine is made in 1981. When do you think you first saw it, Breezy?
When I first saw it, I remember that I first seen it was on VHS, but I don't remember how old. I think I was like a teen because when Bloody Valentine 3D came out, I actually watched that one first, but that I didn't realize it was an older version.
Oh,
So I
okay.
went back to that. I'm like, oh, well,
Nice. I first saw it, I think I was probably like 13 years old, maybe a little younger, maybe like 10 or 11. But we were in a hotel and the hotel had cable and it was on USA Up All Night with Gilbert Godfrey as the host. So it had commercials and it had him making jokes like on the commercial breaks, but it was awesome nonetheless.
yeah, when this movie came out, I wasn't even born yet. So
Yeah. Yeah. So this movie is it's a little dated. Obviously since it's from 1981, but it's basically it's coal miners and it's a coal mining town. I don't know if it's coal. They don't ever say, they just say mining. Do they ever say what they're mining? I assume coal.
yeah, it's like like a mining coal miner, pretty much. I forgot
Uh-huh.
what the town's name, but yes, like coal mining.
Yeah, the town's name is Valentine because at the very beginning they show a
Yep,
big billboard that says "Welcome to Valentine."
yep, yeah,
And apparently in Valentine they feel the need to have a Valentine's dance because your town's named Valentine, you should have a Valentine's dance, right?
yep.
But oh no, there was a tragedy 20 years ago. We find out. Well, the movie starts. It shows a mine, and there's like two people, and they got someone must have went to saw a coal miner all dressed up in like his suit with his gas mask and his helmet, and was like, "Wow, that's freaky as hell. I'm gonna make a whole movie out of just that."
And you get this like, like chick that's trying to seduce him, like, or has like a little fetish going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where did she come from? Like,
Right.
did they ever explain who she was?
No.
Yeah. So there's a woman dressed up like a coal miner, and she starts stripping down and into her skivvies and trying to make out with the dude, and she tries to take off his mask, and he like shakes his head no, and he goes wham and slams his pickaxe into the wall right next to her, and that she apparently doesn't even phase her. She doesn't see that as a red flag or anything. And
Yeah,
then
and yeah, when they like get back to the further a little bit further ahead in the movie,
uh-huh.
I think from the first woman that got killed in the coal mine, I think he grabbed her heart, and put it in that heart-shaped box to give it to the police.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
exactly. I think you're exactly right. So he ends up while they're making out, he basically slams her against the pickaxe and kills her. Yeah. Making out with his gas mask on as best they can. And
Right.
then and then you cut to the coal miners and they're getting done with work and they're a rowdy bunch of hooligans. There's a lot of grab ass going on. They're in the shower joking around and the little pranks and whatnot.
Yeah, just goofing around, having boy time.
Yeah, exactly. And then they go to like the town hall or something where there's Valentine's dance and there's all their girlfriends. So then they start goofing around with them. And At some point, you find out that this is the first Valentine's dance this town has had in 20 years. And because something horrible happened the last time 20 years ago when they had a Valentine's dance, the two guys at the coal mine that were in charge of making sure everyone got out safe were too busy wanting to get to the old Valentine hootenanny. So they left early and left the people down in the mine, and there was a methane explosion and it trapped them all down there, and they dug for days to get him out. And when they found the guy, they showed him he was like chewing on an arm, like he was all crazy looking, like chewing on.
Yeah, there was like only one survivor, and that was Harry. His name is Harry, the actual killer.
Yeah, Harry Warden, I
Yeah, there
think
you
it
go.
is. Yeah, and so they say that he murdered the two people that were in charge of the mine, and he said if anyone ever has a Valentine's dance ever again, he'll murder again. And so this town, they just have to tempt fate, you know? That would be what I would do. If someone told me not to do something, I have to do it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh come on, it's a dance. Like the police, like, nope, nope, I'm sorry.
Yep. So then the cop has a nice heart-shaped box of chocolates, as Breezy said earlier, and they're driving down the road, and he opens it up, and there's a human heart in there, and he goes, "Oh God, Harry Warden's back!" And he
Yep.
like peels out a big donut in the road, and out of nowhere, a black dog comes running and chases after the car. I think that was just like random. Like I don't think that
Yep.
was planned.
Yeah, I think that was totally like random. The dog just running with the car.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing you can get in a 1981 horror movie. It's just a random black dog chasing after your car. Leave it in. It adds to the movie. Um, all right, the dog distracted me. Now I forgot where we were. Oh, so
So,
they're like, don't tell anyone, just keep it under wraps, keep it hush hush. It's no big deal, just a murder. Oh, they go and show the morgue and the coroner, and he's like, I remember those. Those were terrible murders. And it's like what, as opposed to like nice murders? Like as
yeah.
opposed to like the
And this
friendly.
is like decades like later.
Yeah. The guy doesn't even look old enough to remember to have been the doctor back then.
Yep.
Yeah. So they figure out it must be Harry Warden, obviously, duh. Like who else would it be? And so
Right.
they're trying to get a hold of like the state hospital where he was at, and they have no record of when he left or what happened to him. He's not there now. That's all we can tell you, but he might have left at some point in the last 10 years. We're not sure, which really doesn't seem like a good way to run a state hospital.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I think there needs
he
to be
was in the
some.
Harry Wooden was in the mental hospital too.
Yep. I think they
But they
need like
couldn't
some.
find any records of him when they were trying to look for him though.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you think this mental hospital would have some type of record?
you'd think it's a pretty crappy hospital if they don't have any records of where their
Right.
patients went. Like, I don't know, he might have fell down a laundry chute or something. We don't
Yeah.
know. It's not our job to take care of him. Oh, what it is? Oh, well,
Yeah.
whoops. So yeah. So meanwhile, the dance continues to be planned, and there's a lot of tomfoolery and hootenanny, and who gets killed next? Some someone else gets killed.
It's been a hot minute since I watched it.
Oh yeah.
I don't really recall.
Right. Someone gets
I do.
so there's I know there's an old they decide, oh, it was the woman. It was the woman that was like the old woman that was in charge of like the dance
Oh
planning, the
yeah.
one whose idea it was to have the dance. And then they murder her, and then they find out she was killed. So they're like, okay, now we got to call off the dance. And all the younger people are like, what? That's
Yeah.
bullcrap. Get
Now I
the-
remember because she got killed like in the laundromat, didn't she?
Oh yeah, they put her in the. I just spit all over. They put her in the dryer, and they like made beef jerky out of her. That's right, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was like a Valentine in her chest where her heart was supposed to be, like a little
Mm.
card.
Yep.
And then he said, I've done it once, I've done it twice, cancel the dance, and I'll do it thrice. And I
Yep.
always love when you can work thrice into a movie. That's you don't get
Then
enough thrice stories.
that's why they canceled the dance in the first place, because they seen that note.
Yep. So then the kids decide, well, screw they're not kids, they're like 20-year-olds or whatever, but they're like,
Mm.
to heck with this, we're gonna have our own Valentine's party. And creepy old bartender guy hears them and he's like, those kids, I'll teach them respect. And so he sets up like a mannequin that looks like the killer miner with a pickaxe, and he opens the door and it pops out and he laughs, and he's got to try it a few times and he just thinks this is the funniest thing. And he's
Yeah.
all satisfied with it. And he starts to walk away, and then he's like, "Oh, I gotta try it one more time because this is the shit." And he goes back and opens it, and this time it's actually the killer.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I knew for the first time when I seen them, like, yeah, keep doing that because he's gonna kill you. And sure, sure enough, there you go. He killed you.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, "Yep, saw that coming." So then that guy's dead. He boils someone's face in the hot dog water. Like there's a big vat of hot dogs cooking, and some dude's bending over, sticking his big beak in there, and he shoves his head into the hot dog water.
That's just nasty,
It it is.
but it's kind of cheesy too,
Yeah.
considering it's the 1981. But yeah,
And then that didn't bother me so bad, but then later on they showed the girls are like have a tongs and they're pulling the hot dogs out, and then they pull a heart out and they're like, "What's this?" And I was
oh
actually,
yeah,
for whatever reason, I was eating pizza like at that exact second. I just about gagged. I was like,
oh no.
"Yeah, I don't." It was my own dumb fault for eating during my Bloody Valentine, but
See, eating during like any type of sick roast, it doesn't really bother me.
yeah. But yeah, so a good old heart got mixed in with the hot dog. Oh, there was a couple making out in the mine or the something, and then he left to go get beers, and then he killed the woman. And so then he discovered she was dead right around the time they discovered the heart and the hot dog water. So pretty much the whole town figures out there's a killer among them at about the same time. And they're like, "Well, it's Harry Ward. It's gotta be Harry Ward, Harry Warden, whatever the hell his name." And they're like, "So everyone," and some a group of these dingbats decided to go down in the mine because it would be fun after everyone told them no, don't, like 10 times, and then they're like, "Let's do it anyway." So then they're down in
Yeah,
the
because
mine.
they really want a Valentine's party so bad, so they went down to the coal mine
Yup. The
and
place
party
where
it
the
down
horrible
there.
disaster happened, where they were warned not to let's go there. That's just disrespectful. um so they're down there, and then the killer's on the loose, and oh, we should probably talk about these people. They're a bunch of doofuses, but there's a guy that came back to town, TJ, and then there's another guy, Axel, that they
Yep.
like are fighting over the same woman because it was TJ's girlfriend. She was TJ's girlfriend, excuse me, and he left town. So then she started dating Axel, and he came back to town, and he just kind of assumed like, "Oh, well, I'm back, so now you're back with me." And Axel's like, "No, she's with me," and she's like, I'm a human being. Do I get to say who I get to be with at all by any
Yep.
chance?" And so then there's that whole drama kind of going on in the background. But anyway, now they're why did I bring that up? Now they're all down in the mine, and TJ and Axel are our heroes trying to save the day. They know people are on the loose. There was Howard. He is like the jackass among all the jackasses. He's like
Yeah.
making goofy jokes and like trying to like fall out of the ceiling as a joke, and then he actually does get killed and falls out of the ceiling. Yes. That was a satisfying one.
That was very satisfying. I was like, replay, watch it, replay, watch it.
Yep. There's the one woman, she says something about her dress and how it's cut down to here and cut up to here, and she'll be lucky to get out of there alive. And that was
Yep.
foreshadowing because she gets a pickaxe in the gut. Blam. It doesn't make it out alive.
Well, she kind of deserves it though, in a way.
Yup.
Like, you know,
Yeah, how dare she? Going down in the mine on the day of the dance where the people, their cannibalism happened down there. Why would you go down there?
yeah, why would you want to go? Well, first, why would you want to go down there and party anyways?
Right. I probably would. I'd be the guy that'd be like, "Let's go down to the mine." I'd be Howard. I'd be like, "Hey, everyone, I'm gonna hang out on the ceiling. Watch me." Woo!
You would.
So at some point during all, as they're running, they decide to split up, which is always the dumbest idea to do. But at some point during all this shenanigans, it looks like Axel fell into like a big pit of water. Like you see his hat sinking down, and there's a broken like rail, and they're like, "Oh no!" And then they're like, "Oh well, there's nothing we can do now." And then eventually, like the whole town shows up like an angry mob with torches and pitchforks, not literally,
It,
but basically. and they go
Yeah,
charging down the mine shaft.
try to save him and stuff because they probably knew that Harry is down there.
Yep. And then they finally catch up to the killer and they go, stop, no, don't do it. And they take off the gas mask and who is it? It's
Yeah.
Axel.
Oh,
And what?
Axel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like I said, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah. And it turns out they show a quick flashback that he was a tiny little kid and he was hiding under his dad's bed, gonna jump out and surprise his dad. And his dad was the guy that Harry Ward murdered the first time around. And he's been insane in the memory. He's been,
Yeah, yeah, he's very insane.
yeah. And so he basically murdered everyone. And then there's like a cave in and he runs off deeper into the mine. And he's like, woohoo, Harry Ward and me for life. We peace out, dog. And he's like, and then he says, will you be my Bloody Valentine, which is like the corniest, cheesiest thing ever. But it's like, hey, you got the title of the movie. There you go.
Right, right. Didn't like at during that time then they put like a box of heart and said, "Will you be my bloody Valentine,
I think so.
please?"
Yeah. And then that's pretty much it. The end. So
Yeah, it's a classic one.
it is. It's a cult favorite. A lot of people talk about it. The killer looks really cool. Just that whole gas mask with the hard hat and the all bodysuit. It's just a good look. It's a cool design for a killer.
Yeah, I wonder if you can actually like really breathe in that. Like, how hard is it to breathe in that?
Yeah, that's a good
That's
question.
what I'm kind of wondering.
Yeah.
However, I've been into like a mine myself. It was like up north at Vermilion.
Oh, yep.
And I went down there and holy, it's dark and it's different and you get to
Hmm.
feel what these coal mines that actually like do.
Yeah.
Very dangerous work, but kudos to them.
Yeah. I would not want to do that for a job, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeez. So overall, do you like that? Do you like this
I
movie?
I like well, I was entertained by it. I don't know if I can say well, I have to I have mixed feelings about it. I liked it, I enjoyed it, but man, it's 1981 and it's
Yeah.
really dated and it's really cheesy and the way the characters act so doofy sometimes, but it's an old slasher movie and that's how they were. And so it's
Yeah, like I said, it's like a classic movie.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I like it. Definitely. I'm
Would you
very
watch it
curious to
again?
see I haven't watched the new one yet, and so I'm very curious to see how it's updated.
Well, I ain't going to tell you.
Yeah.
So would you watch this movie again?
Oh yeah. And I think people should watch. If you somehow been a horror fan and haven't seen it, I think you should watch it just because you got to put it on your resume, mark it off the
Right.
checklist, and you should go buy the My Bloody
Definitely.
Valentine board game. I think it's out there.
No, normally like because I'm an anti-Valentine's person, and
Mhm.
usually like during Valentine's Day, I usually watch either the remake or the original
Oh, okay.
every Valentine's.
Nice. So we did have we'll have to talk about the new My Bloody Valentine, and then we should probably talk about Terrifier 2 since we talked about Terrifier 1. And then we did
Yeah.
have listener request for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So
Yep.
we'll have to get that
Trust
on.
me, we will get to that one.
Yep.
We will.
And then for St. Patrick's Day, if we might have to do Leprechaun if we're able
Oh
to.
yeah. Yes. I love Leprechaun.
Yeah. So that's kind of a look ahead. But I think that pretty much wraps it up for this time. We appreciate all the subscriptions and followers we've gotten so far on our first episode and the comments. And thanks for listening and keep sharing and watching us get better as we grow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. We're learning. We're learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep sending us movies to review whether it's upcoming as in theater, whatever you want to
Yep.
do, send the information our way and we will look it up and we watch and review.
Yep. Exactly. What is coming up in theaters? Anything exciting on the horizon? I
Oh,
know
I've been too
Terrifier
bit
3 at Christmas.
that Terrifier 3 is in Christmas. I actually not really paying attention because I'm in focus on moving, but I really don't know.
Right. Fair enough.
So I can't give you the correct information right now.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
All right, thanks you again.